Good day, everyone. I'm going to present my research paper entitled Health Behaviors and Non-Communicable Disease Risk Among Rural Residents of Pitogo, Quezon. By the way, I'm Elaine T. De Loreto, an MPH student. As all we know, that NCDs or non-communicable diseases are the top mortality cause globally. Not only globally but also locally, here in the Philippines and also in our town, Pitogo, one of the municipality of Quezon Province. These diseases are considered as lifestyle related and is mostly the result of combination of physiological, environmental, and behavioral factors. Behavioral factors such as smoking, alcohol abuse, consuming too much fat, salt and sugar, and physical inactivity all increase the risk of NCDs which pose a public threat. According to WHO or World Health Organization, NCDs kill 41 million people each year, equivalent to 71% of all deaths globally. In the town of Pitogo, which has a general population of 24,488 people as of January 2020, the town has a record of 77 deaths of previous year, and out of these deaths, 66 died from NCDs. This is according to LCR or Local Civil Registrar 2019. The top mortality cause was cardiovascular diseases, cancer of different types, diabetes mellitus, and lung and liver diseases. Also, for the year 2019, the current user of non-communicable diseases medication were 3,098. This is under the Philippine Package of Essential Non-Communicable Disease or PhilHealth Program of Department of Health. Thus, this study aims to determine the respondents' health behaviors. It seeks to answer these questions. This is the problem. This is the research questions. First, what is the health behavior status of the respondents in terms of dietary habit, physical activity, smoking, and alcohol intake? Second, what is the NCD risk factors of the respondents in terms of BMI or body mass index and BP or blood pressure? Third is there significant relationship between the respondents' health behavior in relation to NCD risk? And the fourth, is there significant difference when gender, civil status, and age are considered? These are the questions that seeks to answer. So the research uses descriptive research design. And the aim of this study is to investigate the correlation of health behavior and NCD risk factors. That is why descriptive research design was utilized. It is very useful when conducting research whose aim is to identify characteristics, frequencies, trends, correlations, and categories. With regards to population and sampling, the data was collected quantitatively through purposive sampling. The study was conducted in selected 73 rural residents of Pitogo, Quezon. Respondents were 25 years old and older individual with or without symptoms of any NCDs. Among these, there were 39 females and 34 males. Most of the respondents has medical record in rural health unit and was taking up NCDs medications. A survey questionnaire was used in data collection. There were 3 sections in the questionnaire: the demographic, physical measurement, and practice related to behavioral factors. The first section of the questionnaire contains demographic information of the participants such as age, gender, civil status, and educational attainment. While the second section contains the physical measurement of the respondents such as height, weight, body mass index, and blood pressure. The BMI and the blood pressure were measured manually. The blood pressure was measured using a manual sphygmomanometer. Category for blood pressure measurement was based on American Heart Association. It is categorized into normal, elevated, stage 1, stage 2, and hypertensive crisis. While in getting the BMI or body mass index, height and weight was measured. Height was measured by a portable and non-stretchable measuring tape using meter, while weight was measured by a portable digital weighing machine using kilogram. It measures a person's weight in relation to their height. The BMI or the body mass index was categorized into underweight, normal, overweight, and obese. Increased BMI and elevated systolic and diastolic blood pressure considered as NCD risks. While on the third section, it covered questions on practice related on behavioral risk factors such as diet, physical activity, smoking, and alcohol. Respondents was asked of their health behavior, which include diet. Diet is about high in saturated fat and salt. Smoking, it is exposure to smoke in any form. It may be the smoker or secondhand smoke. In physical activity, it requires 150 minutes equal to 150 minutes per week of moderate effort or 30 minutes for 5 days per week or 75 minutes per week of vigorous physical activity or combination of that. And on alcohol consumption, men drinking to more than 2 glasses a day and women drinking to more than 1 glass a day. The survey was conducted through personal interview through home visitation and took 10 to 20 minutes each interview. The data was analyzed quantitatively using SPSS or Statistical Package for the Social Sciences, specifically the frequencies, percentage, Spearman's correlation, and one-way ANOVA. Spearman correlation was used to determine the correlation. The relationship, and the one-way ANOVA was used to determine the significant differences. The result of this study was based on research question. But before I proceed to the result, let me present the demographic information of the respondents. This study utilized 73 respondents. Among these, there were 39 females and 34 males. The age was grouped into five. The age group with the highest number of respondents were 51 to 60 years old, with 33%, followed by 61 to 70 years old, 28%, then 71 years old and above, and 20 to 30 years old got 12%, and 31 to 40 years old 11%, and the least are 41 to 50 years old 4%. The distribution of target audience according to civil status of the respondents has 45% married, 26% single, 25% widowed, and 4% was separated. To answer the research question, what is the health behavior status of the respondents? We can see in this table that among the respondents, 38.4% has physical activity that reached the recommended level, meaning they have a high percentage of the respondents that has less physical movement. It indicates that they move less, maybe due to their medical condition. And on the smoking, got 17.8%, on alcohol intake 45.2%, which means respondents still smoke and drink alcohol despite of their health condition. And on diet, high fat intake and high salt intake got 78.1%. So this is a high percentage of intake of fat and salt. So eating salty and fatty foods are very noticeable. To answer this question number 2, what is the NCD risk factors of the respondents in terms of BMI and BP? And the table suggested that normal BMI of the residents has more than half of the respondents. It got 53.4%. It suggested that height and weight is not an issue to consider as a priority problem. In terms of BP, stage 2 level of hypertension has the highest number of respondents. During the BP taking, some of the respondents has a normal BP due to intake of medication, but high percentage of them were still hypertensive. Third question, is there significant relationship between the respondents' health behavior in relation to non-communicable disease risk? We can see in this table that smoking and diastolic hypertension has significant relationship to each other, and on the diet and systolic hypertension has significant relationship to each other. So there is no significance between physical activity, alcohol intake, and NCD risk, while smoking has significant relationship with diastolic hypertension, and diet has also significant relationship with systolic hypertension. So is there significant difference when gender, civil status, and age are considered? So age has significant difference with systolic BP, body mass index, smoking, alcohol intake, and diet. And gender has significant difference with physical activity, smoking, and alcohol intake. And civil status has significant difference with smoking and alcohol intake. So to conclude, health behavioral factors and NCD risk is associated with each other. Age, gender, and civil status affects health behavior. Health behavior and NCD risk all are important factors to prevent NCD and to improve health of residents of Pitago, Quezon. The researcher enabled to determine and analyze the needs of the target population. Lifestyle behaviors were identified as well. This study helped the researcher formulate a lifestyle modification program for the resident of Pitago. And thank you. That's the end of my presentation.